Hello and welcome to Raven and Rose. This is my Pinup Orc makeup tutorial. Obviously starting first of all with a layer of a yummy metallic green. Now obviously you don't want to see me paint the whole thing, so I've sped up to where I've covered all of my shoulders and my torso where it can be seen on the photo. Think Incredible Hulk. Not very pretty at the minute, not very pin-up-like, but she's green. So I have these ears that I made out of latex. I just made the forms out of polymer clay, baked them and then kept dipping them in latex until they were the right thickness. Okay, so where I've applied paint and I need to apply powder so that it doesn't move anywhere and sets it nicely. Don't forget to do everywhere that you've painted, including neck and shoulders, otherwise it can crease. So now I'm going in with a highlight, just like you would if you were doing your normal makeup. I think I accidentally got a bit of blue on there. But yeah, highlight where you would normally highlight areas that you want to come out, where you want to draw them out, make them more obvious. So just a lighter shade. I know it looks a little bit odd right now, but I will soon be getting my fingers in there, Orc Warrior style, to just melt the colours into each other just a little bit to make it not so obvious. Also colour your collarbones areas, blending it in a little bit with the other green area, and there we go. Fingers are going in, Orc style face painting. So now I'm going in with the shade. I've done the highlight, now I'm doing the shade, and I'm doing the shade again where you would most likely do it if you were doing your normal makeup, but my Orc Pinup has exactly the same desires. So the shade is to pull back on areas that you want to minimise. Because I popped face paint on to highlight, I am now going over with a highlight powder to set that and to make it more highlighty, make it stand out a little bit more. And then going in with a dark colour along my jawline just to define the jawline area, and going in on my collarbone too and down my neck just to add some definition, darkening up those areas just a little bit where I want them, down the side of my nose because she contours. Okay, so using a little bit more shadow this time to contour the nose and take that right up to the top of my eye socket. And then starting with the eye makeup, I'm using a light sparkly pinky colour that I would normally use to highlight the inner corner of my eye, because if I'm thinking if I applied the colour that I want straight onto the green, it's not going to show up as well. So this is like a base application, like your primer. And I love this colour, it's so pretty. Okay, so now I'm going in with the purple, which is the colour that I actually want to have on there. And you can see that looks quite vivid, so I think I must have picked the right shade. So I'm going both on the outside and the in, covering part of the lid and the under eye area too. And I'm not adding any product on, I'm just moving it around. So now I'm going in with a black and I'm just going in with a C shape on the outer corner of my eye and underneath my lower lashes. And you can see I'm not adding product, I'm just moving it around to where I want it to be. And then I'm putting blush on, because we all need a blush sometimes. Nice to look rosy and perky. So now I'm going in and blending those eyeshadow colours. I kind of jump around a bit when I'm putting weird face paints on and doing character makeup, because I can never decide what order I'm doing things in. So please forgive me for jumping from one thing to the next. Using those fingers again for the highlight on the inner corner of the eye, just to make them look a little bit wider, brighter. And then I start putting on the highlight on my brow bone, and then I think, oh my goodness, where are my eyebrows? So I drew on my eyebrows. I told you I jumped about a bit. So drawing on my eyebrows, basic shape that I usually use, and then using the brow gel just to deepen that brown a little bit. Okay, so lining my eyes upper and lower, and then going back to highlighting my brow bone, which I can find now because I put my eyebrows on. All finger work again. So I'm adding that to my nose and my middle of my forehead, and I'm applying some spirit gum to my ears, and then adding those lovely ears on, which wobble and shake, and I had to hold them for quite a while to get them to stay on. So going on to lash lining. I love a winged liner. It's my absolute favourite, and I think it works for every pin-up. As you can see here, it's the age-old struggle of getting it right on both sides. Decided to use that liner to darken up my brows a little bit, make her a little bit stronger, with thicker, fuller brows. And mascara, top and bottom lashes. Check those ears again. Yeah, can you even I've got a wonky ear? But I think it's cute. And then powdering the area where I'd applied the spirit gum, and it's dried now, on my ears, and then popping in my lenses. As you can see, I'm popping it in and just just lightest pressure, little circles 3 times. Usually helps to get the eyes to stay in. You can see I took a deep breath there. It's like, oh my goodness, it stayed in. So then, the obvious, we need lashes. Lashes of lashes. And not only top lashes, but this baby needs bottom lashes too. Okay, so I'm starting with the body paint, and I will be jumping around again during this because I'm waiting for certain areas to dry before I move on to the next area. So I've started painting on my body armour, which is a leather look that I'm going for, and I have a shoulder piece made out of leather too, which is in 3 parts. Now, I'm not bothered about getting this really tidy because I want it to have a worn, used, battle-worn effect. It's incredibly difficult to paint when you're right-handed to do your right shoulder. It's just so difficult. If anybody has any tips, that would be great. Okay, so I'm using a few photos for reference here. I'm taking parts of everything that I like and putting it together. And the black lines I'm drawing here aren't outlines, I wanted to blend in a little bit to add to that worn leather look effect. am defining some areas with the black, obviously, because I want them to look like they're separate pieces of leather. But they will be blended in a lot more. Okay, so I've drawn on a little silver clasp, which unfortunately I didn't catch on the video because I was too busy concentrating on the buckle. Now shading the area, adding a bit of an orc booby to my look, and adding highlights where I think there would be highlights, and I'm using completely the wrong brush for that shoulder piece, but I was committed, so I was using it. Again, fingers to blend it in a little bit, and then going over with that brown again, just to make it blend nicely. It looks less like a black outline now and more like part of the actual armour. Using that same brush again. Will I ever learn? But it appears to be working on this occasion, so probably not. So there we go, blending in that black to make it look much more like it's standing out and it's a natural piece of fabric. So going on to my war paint, I'm going in with white first, again as like a base colour. And as you can see, I cannot draw a straight line to save my life. I notice it's not straight, so go in to correct it and make it worse. And then use my fingers to straighten it up, and I go in to do it again and make exactly the same mistake. So I just decided, do you know what, yeah, we'll just leave that, that's fine. So I started painting on a design that I'd seen on Pinterest on a different kind of war paint. And I decided halfway through that I really didn't like it. It didn't suit the look that I'd got going. So I went back in with the dark green and took it way back, dark green, all the highlight, all the shading, the blush, and then started again. So here I'm just kind of freestyling, pulling the brush down and then pushing it back to make a little curve, which I thought was kind of cute. So I'm accentuating those curves and then going over the white, as I said, with the purpley blue colour, which I think is really cute. It goes with the green really well. And it also, the little bits of white that shine through are like an instant highlighter to make it look like it's almost scarification. And I did that exact same brush trick under my eyes. And then a little bit of white on the top. This was freestyling, you can see my hand shaking. It's trying desperately to draw straight lines for me. So while I'm waiting for my face paint to dry, I go back in to my armour and try and add the highlighting shades that I'm looking for. And while that dries, I go back to my face and add a little bit of pink, a little bit of neon pink. I'm not sure that'd be good for war paint really, because I'd probably stand out quite a bit. But hey, she should stand out anyway, look at those here. So adding little lines to the purple areas. I don't want to cover them completely, I want to add two. I think the two colours work really well together. And I'm basically ad-libbing here, I'm just flying by the seat of my pants. There you go, drew a straight line there and a straight line down the middle of my forehead, so I think that's awesome. So again, a little bit more highlight to the shoulder piece to make it look like it's a 3-piece unit rather than a 1-piece unit. Finger skills coming in again. And I paint my hand green, pop my wig on, paint my nails, pop my headpiece on, and a little bit of face jewellery, and there you go, there's the finished look. The headpiece is actually a dragon skull with 2 horns coming off with human skulls in them. It took forever to make, but I think it was well worth it. So thank you for watching, I really appreciate it. If you could give me a like, that would be great. If you could subscribe, that would be absolutely awesome. See you soon. Bye bye.